God has guided me from point A to point B every step of the way. And he chased me down in life, and it was something I ran from for a long time because I'm an analytical thinker. There wasn't always the signs there for me to believe. And though I grew up in church, I didn't always believe. I thought people were putting on an act.
Sure.
So God persistently chased me and showed me the signs and guided me. And that has really gotten me to where I am today. And anytime I don't follow that guidance, I get a lesson. And so I
Yeah.
have learned to just keep following along.
I am so excited to be speaking at the Conscious Investor Growth Summit, March 8th through the 10th, out in Coeur d'Alene, Idaho. It's going to be an amazing event. I'm so honored to be speaking alongside 20 plus amazing other speakers. And we're going to be deep diving into health, wealth, and mindset. You do not want to miss this event. Make sure that you find your way there. Also, use the code ERIK, ERIK, for 50% off your ticket. I hope to see you there. Keep changing the world. Elaina, you're a mom, you're a designer, entrepreneur, podcast host, so much more. Thank you for your time. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you for having me here. I'm excited.
I like to kick the show off by going back a bit. Like, where did you grow up and what was childhood like for you?
So I grew up a little bit of everywhere. We moved around a lot, but I was
Okay.
born in Akron, Ohio. Then we moved to Poughkeepsie, New York, and then New Orleans area, and then Florida.
Oh, wow. Okay. So lots of it. Was it a change of jobs or a change of, or your military?
No, so my parents struggled a lot financially, and so we got evicted a lot. And every other month we were getting evicted, moving around, and they were trying to find an area that they felt like they could thrive in. So we would move to different states for them to figure that out. Yeah.
My wife moved around a lot as a younger kid, but it was a change of job or change of dads, unfortunately, during that time. So yeah, she definitely had that happen to her. I want to get right into what you do because I love what you put out in regards to content and everything. Like, for those who don't know, your website is elainamitchell.com. It's awesome. People need to go check out your website. But what's the core of your business?
I'm a branding specialist and designer.
Okay. I love it.
Brand design. Yes.
Gotcha. And one of the things that caught my attention when I was looking at your website was this quote that you said: "We need more passion in the world. We need more people willing to put it all on the line to make big dreams come true. We need more people like you." That is so good. What was the first big scary thing that you did to get you on the path that you're on today?
I left everything and everyone behind and started over in a new city with my baby boy. And that was a big gamble. Everybody that I knew said I was crazy for doing that because I had nothing lined up. But I knew I had to start over in a fresh environment to get a new lens on life.
How do you mentally get through that when the people are telling you, like, they're the naysayers and they're like, don't do that, don't do that? Like, how do you overcome that stuff?
I'm a very strategic thinker, so I knew exactly my why behind why I was doing it, and I knew everyone else wasn't going to understand that or see that.
Yeah.
And I also am very intuitive, and I feel deeply. I feel called to different areas and different things for certain reasons, and I follow that calling.
Yeah, man, that's awesome. I mean, many people talk about like finding their spark or their passion. And you mentioned that creativity was really that spark for you. For those that are still searching, like, what advice do you have on discovering and nurturing that spark, especially with all of life's challenges?
Yeah, I always tell people to look backwards at what could you do as a child where time could pass for hours and you'd never get bored, or you were just so excited to get started on it. That's usually the seed that leads to who you're meant to be. And we sometimes stomp on that seed because it's not going to help us out financially. So for me, it was art. And my dad always told me artists don't make money. Artists are starving for a reason. You can't be an artist. And so I had to strategically figure out how to use my love for art and still build a business and provide for my family, right?
Yeah, man. One of the things that you talk about in your business too is like not really compromising on price. Like, you have your set prices because you know that the quality that you bring to the table is good. Like, when people are reaching out, like, oh, tell it, well, it's too expensive out of my budget. Like, for you as the entrepreneur, how do you get past that? It's obviously they can't afford it, but then you have this high quality of clients that you want to work with. So how do you pick those clients that you specifically want to work with?
So I will say it took a long time for me to get the bravery to up my prices. It was something that people told me I should do from the very beginning, but I knew that I would prefer to get the experience first, regardless of how much people were willing to pay me.
Sure.
And once I had that experience under my belt, I wasn't scared to then up the prices because of that experience.
Huge.
So when it comes to kind of weeding through the different potential consumers,
Yeah.
um, I know that if I stick to my prices firmly, the right people will be attracted to me for the right reasons. And there
Yep.
are so many other service providers at lower price points for other people and other budgets, and that's
Mm.
okay.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I've been on Fiverr as a seller for like 10 years now. And I always get the people that are like, oh, would you negotiate on this? And I just don't, oh, I don't negotiate my prices. I'm sorry. But there's a ton of other people that will meet your pricing, right? Like you just got to pick the right folks to work with. Hey, this is a quick shout out from one of our awesome sponsors. Check this out. Thank you to Tracy down at Tranquil Turn Massage in downtown Coeur d'Alene. Look, my wife and I, we see Tracy and her team every single month for couples massage, and it is the best thing. Tracy is a master massage specialist and a Hanu Ashiatu trainer. You need to reach out to Tracy and her team. Make sure that you tell them that I sent you, and you'll get $25 off your next massage. Also, while you're there, check out CDA Brows, Body, and Ink. Make sure to tell Tracy that I sent you, and you'll save $100 on your next tattoo brows and plasma tightening services. You say, I'm living out my dream by helping other people create theirs. Branding involves like not just creating visual elements, but like also understanding the essence of a business. How do you get to the core of your clients' dreams when you're working with them?
So it all starts with a brand deep dive discovery call. And we talk about their life story, their journey, what inspired that brand. And I really try to pull out the why and create the entire brand journey and experience around the core of who that person is or what they're trying to contribute to the world.
So important. And I mean, I love that you're transparent around your faith in Jesus in your business. How does that play a role into your role as a mom and as an entrepreneur and into your business there?
Yeah, so God has guided me from point A to point B every step of the way. And He chased me down in life, and it was something I ran from for a long time because I'm an analytical thinker. There wasn't always the signs there for me to believe, and though I grew up in church, I didn't always believe. I thought people were putting on an act.
Sure.
So God persistently chased me and showed me the signs and guided me. And that has really gotten me to where I am today. And anytime I don't follow that guidance, I get a lesson. And so I just learned to just keep following along.
Totally. Oh man. I mean, I came to know Jesus in 2004. I grew up in the church as well, but again, like walked away for a really long time and, broke at home and got into drugs and alcohol at an early age and now 18 years sober, but I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Jesus for sure.
Yeah.
How do you, start your day off? Like for me, like I'm very like, I got to get up and get those wins. So I make my bed and I immediately go to gratitude and spend some time in prayer and worship. But for you, like what are those non-negotiable morning routines that kind of get you set up for the day?
I love this question because I'm naturally an artist and at my heart and in my brain, I didn't always have a routine. And I
Okay.
was actually on a podcast 2 or 3 years ago. Someone asked me what my routine was, and I was like, I don't have one. Like I just wake up and do what I want. But I realized how important the routine is to structuring your day, like you said, getting those wins. So one of the first things I always do is make my bed, non-negotiable. I always drink a big glass of water, non-negotiable. I also do this weird habit or ritual where I give love to the water before I drink it. Like I talk to the water.
Come on.
Like I love water. Thank you so much for nourishing my body. And I take a big drink of it and I imagine it healing me. That's a non-negotiable for me. I read the Bible every morning. I walk through a process on the Bible app where they walk you through each step, which is really helpful to keep you engaged in it. And making sure I eat a balanced meal. Those are my non-negotiables.
It's so important. And just the simple things like making your bed, for me, I'm 44. So as soon as I open my eyes, I immediately go, man, Jesus, thank you for another day to see and hug and hold my family, right? Just the simple things get me going into that gratitude moment there. Man.
I love that.
You said you've got an amazing son. You've shared some photos of him on your Instagram page. He looks like just a stud. Like, what's your favorite part about being a mom?
Learning from him, honestly.
Okay.
I think that kids can teach us a lot, and especially our own children, they're a little piece of us, so we can see our own flaws through them and take their advice sometimes. I have to humble myself and realize my son is smart too, and he can give me advice, and I can learn from it, and that's one of my favorite parts.
It's so important.
Yeah.
So important. My daughter is 13. My son is 10, and I learn so much from them. And it's just been cool to like see they are like, oh, Dad, you should probably, go say hi to that person or go say thank you to that person. Or I might forget to do something. They're like, oh, Dad, you should do this. Those little reminders of their like seeing their heart for people. I'm like, that's what I want. Like, we really try hard not to make our kids bratty so they don't have like access to the screens all the time, right? It's like, hey, let's have a normal life where like I grew up with no iPad, right? So you guys can do the same thing, right?
Yes. No, I love that.
As a mom and an entrepreneur and owning your business, life can get crazy and busy. How do you balance that but then also prevent like the burnout that comes as an entrepreneur?
I think it's having the routine and the
Mm,
non-negotiables. I also food prep, and I write out a daily schedule on a mirror with a Sharpie, not a Sharpie, a dry erase marker
yeah.
on the mirror so that I can see it first thing in the morning and stick to that schedule and routine. So yeah, I kind of run my household like I would run a business and making
Mhm.
sure things are stocked and the food's being turned around. You know what I mean? Like just
Yeah.
running like a business is really key to the balance of everything. And then making sure you're pouring into yourself as much as you're pouring into your children or your household by giving yourself the self-care time. So
Yeah.
I allot an hour throughout my night to just pour into myself. I do my stretches, I do my meditation, I do my prayer, make sure I'm showering, obviously. So those kinds of things like the self-care, really important.
Man, I love that. It's so good. I wanted to jump back into kind of the branding sort of things there. Like when you're working with clients and you're talking about their branding and things like that, when folks come to you, like what is it that they're not doing that they should be doing in their personal brand?
A lot of times they're focusing on the visuals on the personal side. So let
Mm,
me give you an example. I'm building a brand for a client currently, and they're very tied personally to the logo design
okay.
without thinking of the strategy side. So one thing that I love to infuse into every project I'm working on is pulling them away from being too personal with the visuals and focusing on the strategy side. And then you can be more personal with the messaging, with the copy, but the strategy of the visuals is what's really going to hook somebody in the right way. So yeah.
I love that. And when someone's trying to build up their brand and they're trying to post all over from Facebook to Instagram to Twitter, all that stuff, do you recommend doing the same post for all of it, or is it different posts that they should be doing for the different platforms?
Definitely different posts for different platforms. Like LinkedIn, for instance, they thrive on articles and informational content.
Okay.
Obviously, the B2B connection is really good on LinkedIn. And then Instagram is more visuals and the quick content. TikTok is switching more to the long format content. So they want you to post longer videos now. So there's
Mm,
so many different strategies for each platform. So it's not ideal to post the same content everywhere.
gotcha. A great tip there. What are you most excited about right now? Like as we're heading into 2024, what's on your plate that you're like, man, I'm fired up about this?
Well, I'm developing an app, a social media app. So
Okay.
that's going to be one of my big gambles in life. I'm just taking a chance on it. It's one of those feelings I have inside, but I'm extremely passionate and excited about it to see where it will lead. It's just a learning opportunity, if anything else. And then I'm rebranding my social media marketing company.
Okay.
So socialinyourcity.com will be that new social media marketing company. And yeah, finding myself again through my business by getting back to art.
Mm, yes. Ah, man, I'm excited about that new app. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Definitely. Man, I can't wait for that to come out and get into that. That's super cool. One of the funny things that I saw on your website, and I think I relate to this so much, but you talk about you publicly being a proclaimed dork, right? Like I love that. Like in what ways are you embracing that? And how important is it really to just be transparent with your clients when you're working with them?
Uh, yeah, I think it's just being you. And
Come
like
on.
even speaking, I fumble a lot of my words because I think visually. So pictures go through my head a lot and it
Yeah.
messes up my communication, but that just adds to who I am as a person. So not hiding from that, I just am a communication dork.
Come on. That's so good. Oh, I love it. I've been interviewing folks since 2017. I actually just recorded over my 500th interview. And so I'm really comfortable behind the mic, but I started doing Toastmasters a few months back and getting in front of people and talking in front of them. And I think that's where like the dorkiness comes out of me, where I'm like, I get excited and I'm walking all over the stage. And then I'm like, okay, now what do I do? Like, how do I change this up? And then I just got booked for my first big talk in March, 25 minutes on mindset. So we'll see how dorkiness that'll be for me when I get in front of 150 people.
Oh, that's so fun. Congratulations on all of that. I've always wanted to try Toastmasters. So how do you like it?
It is fun. It's definitely got a very unique group of people. but it's like the least judgmental place that I've ever been. And so you get in there and they have like a lot of, I don't want to say rules, but they have like kind of a format where there's a timer and a grammarian and all this stuff. And then they'll usually have 2 to 3 speakers, and they have like this table topics, which is kind of impromptu. You step up and you've got 1 to 2 minutes to talk about a random question that's thrown at you. And that can really help. Just, it helped me at least get in front of people and just talking and thinking as fast as I could on the fly, and then preparing for speeches. So I've done 3 speeches in Toastmasters, and it's the feedback that you get is instant, and because they're all writing feedback and then they give it to you afterwards, and it's just super cool. I've enjoyed it, and it's $75 every 6 months or something like that. So it's well worth the membership. Yeah. I'm super excited about that, and super excited about your app though that's coming out and what you got going on. I just wanted to say that you put out just great content. I'm on your on Instagram. It's the voice, the audio that you send. I forget what they even call that now. I'm drawing a blank, but yeah. And so I just want to say thank you, because you feed that like every day or every other day, and it's just got some really cool, just quick quotes and motivational stuff. So what you're doing is awesome, and I just want you to know you're an absolute world changer. I just appreciate you taking the time out of your day to join me on the show today.
Thank you so much for having me here. That means the world to me, and I love all of your content and all the ways that you're changing the world. So glad to collab.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much. Oh, and one last question. I love to finish the show with a fun question. I'm a music guy, so I've asked the question, like, what type of music do you like to listen to, or is there a favorite band for you?
So I loved Paramore when I was a teenager, and I loved just, I guess like 90s alternative rock, but 90s mix for sure.
Perfect. I love it. So good. My wife and I were sitting around the other day going, man, we haven't like introduced our kids to what we grew up listening to music. So we spent like 3 hours just watching YouTube videos of Tupac and Biggie and Paramore and all these rock bands from the 90s. And my kids are like, what are you guys showing us here? You know?
So Eminem too is a big one. And my son just discovered Eminem, and I'm like, I got to put the cards up here.
So good. I mean, definitely the greatest guy out there. Lyrics are a little questionable for my kids, but you know, like say like, but when I was my kid's age, and I was an Eminem, I was listening to Tupac. You know, it's not like that's clean, but
the thing about kids in music is they're not really paying attention to the lyrics. They're really vibing with the tone and the beat.
Yeah.
You know, because I think back to songs I used to sing as a kid, and I'm like, whoa, listen to those lyrics.
Right.
Like, in a bottle. Oh, so yeah.
So good. Well, Elaina, thank you so much again for your time today. I appreciate you. I hope that you have a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year and a 2024. I'm excited for what you got coming on.
Thank you so much. God bless you and your family.
Thank you so much for checking out the show today. I really appreciate it. I hope that my guest was able to bring you some amazing wisdom and knowledge to help you continue to fight for your goals, your dreams, and your purpose. If you could do me one big favor and just hit that subscribe button, I would so appreciate it. Thank you so much for your time. Keep changing the world. I believe in you. Have an amazing day.